Part 165. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Ixie. Chapter 1641. Chapter 1641. He just loves you too much. Isn't it you, Liz Ixie, who likes to take pictures and post the most? I really don't know whether to praise you for being brave or scolding you for being ignorant. Do you think I, Beiji you, am so easy to bully? Will I let you slander me again and again? Senior sister, I don't know what you are talking about. I have to leave. Liz Ixie felt guilty. She tried to break out, but was pushed back before she could get outside. Beiji you sneered, I don't want to talk nonsense to you, but you challenge my bottom line again and again. I will give you one last chance to handle the post within one day. No matter what reason you use to explain this, all I want is the result. Don't play tricks on me. If you don't do it, pack your things and get out. Beijiyu's voice was cold and cruel at the last sentence. Liz Ixie was shocked, but she was stubborn and refused to admit her mistake. Beijiyu, you don't run this school. Don't think you can scare me with just a few words. Tisk. Beijiyu glanced sideways at Liz Ixie and said arrogantly, I'm sorry, my family really has shares in this school. Liz Ixie knew that Beijiyu was the eldest daughter of a wealthy family, but she didn't expect her to be so powerful. Beijiyu raised her hands and warned her one last time, remember, you only have one day. Beijiyu turned and left. Liz Ixie wanted to catch up, but was pushed back to the toilet. One of them had a bad temper and couldn't stand Liz Ixie for a long time. He took her hair to the sink and gave her a cold shower. Liz Ixie, open your eyes and see, is Beijiyu someone you can mess with casually? Go and get things done quickly, otherwise you are finished. Liz Ixie was so angry. Finally, Liz Ixie stood up and apologized, saying that she had framed her. The matter of catching wind and shadow is just like a gust of wind, it blows away and disperses. With the changes in the people and things she comes into contact with, Beijiyu has broken away from the squeamish girl she once was and has grown into the best child in the eyes of adults and the best student in the eyes of teachers. She passed the election for student union president unanimously in her senior year of high school. Before she graduated, companies were poaching people through the principal or looking for her to cooperate privately. Beijiyu refused one by one. She already has a goal. She must enter Yes Group as an intern. Yes Group has not signed an intern agreement with China and the United States, which means that students from China and the United States cannot be directly arranged to join the company unless they apply for the assessment and are admitted. Beijiyu took all her excellent certificates and works over the past 3 years to participate in the assessment of Yes Group. She passed the test without any doubt and became an intern of Yes Group. Beiya knew this and lost his temper at home. When you grow up, your wings harden, you don't want it in your own home, so why don't you just run away and be picked up by someone else's house? Kitano was very angry. He has always been gentle and doting on his daughter, but this time he showed off to her. Beijiyu hid in her room and cried for a long time, but in the end B didn't come in to comfort her. Beijiyu knew that her father had never been satisfied with her pursuit of Ye Qingfeng, but she had no regrets. Her life is her own. She has fulfilled her parents' expectations and become excellent, but there are some things she should always stick to her own choices. Finally, it was Yuan Ran who came in to persuade her. Let's have a good talk with mommy. Beijiyu wiped away her tears, her eyes were a little swollen. Yuan Ran felt very distressed when she saw her daughter like this. Don't blame your dad, he just loves you too much. The author has something to say. It really takes a lot of courage to like someone so hard. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Ixie. Chapter 1642. Chapter 1642. Are you going to give up on him? I'm not angry with Daddy, I know that. It is because she has been chasing Ye Qingfeng wholeheartedly, and she still refuses to give up until now. You really like him. Yuan Ran is a very special mother. She never uses her identity as a mother to ask her daughter to make any choice in front of Beiji Yu. Instead, like a close sister, she chats with her daughter and solves her doubts. Beiji Yu has been helped by Yuan Ran to help her with many things along the way. Secret love is really a very painful thing. But mommy, I like him because the bitterness is mixed with honey. When I taste the sweetness, I feel that the bitterness is nothing. Just like now, although she dare not reveal her relationship with Ye Qingfeng, she can stay with Ye Qingfeng unscrupulously and enjoy his love and care. Although, as a younger sister, mommy won't stop you from entering the Ye group, but mommy doesn't want you to pursue this endless pursuit forever, so why don't we make an agreement? What? You will be an intern at Yes Group for 1 year, that is, when you graduate from senior year, you must give us a clear explanation. If you really get together with Qingfeng, mommy will definitely bless you. If the topic ends here, Yuan Ran suddenly paused. She couldn't bear to look at her daughter's tearful little face. But, in the end, he said, if you are not destined, then just go back to your parents, okay? Beiji Yu hesitated for a long time, gritted his teeth and said yes. Now she has agreed, but it is still unclear whether she can do it by then. Yuan Ran forced a smile and patted the back of her daughter's hand to comfort her. Okay, let's go down and eat. Mommy, Daddy's side. Beiji Yu thought of Bei's temper, fierce and cruel, and she felt lingering fear in her heart. Yuan Ran kept comforting her, don't worry, I have it with your daddy. Beiji Yu grabbed her mother's sleeves and said, I'm afraid. What are you afraid of? You are his most precious daughter. I'm afraid he won't allow me to go. It's not that he doesn't allow you to go, he's just afraid that you'll hurt yourself if you fall in love too much. Yuan Ran's words gently fell into Beiji Yu's ears. She thought for a long time and nodded. I see. She knew that the reason why Bi had been targeting Ye Qingfeng was not because she hated Ye Qingfeng, but because her father felt sorry for her that she had been secretly in love with a man for so many years without getting a response. However, she always has to face this matter by herself. Beiji Yu gathered her emotions and went downstairs, where she saw Beiye sitting at the dining table with a cold face. Under Yuan Ran's small gestures, Beiji Yu ran to Beiye and said, Daddy, it's time to eat. Beiye was deaf and did not move. Beiji Yu suddenly thought of something, her eyes lit up, and she stretched out her hand to pinch Beiye's ears. Daddy, please don't be angry, okay? If you get angry again, you will be very sad. When she was a child, she grabbed Kitano's ears just for fun, and Kitano let her do whatever he wanted. Later, it became a habit for her and her father. Bi heard his daughter's coquettish apology, but in the end he didn't hold back. Okay, don't act like a good boy in front of me. Your thoughts have already flown out. Don't think I don't know. Oh, no matter where you are goes for internship, it can't change the fact that I am your daughter, right? Daddy, don't be angry, you already knows what to do. Oh, are you going to give up on that kid? End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 1643. Chapter 1643, Intern of Ye Group. Beiji Yu successfully entered the Ye Group. As an intern, he was inevitably enslaved for a period of time. Yu, please print out 2 copies of the document over there. Beiji Yu, follow me to the database later to move some things. I have always been served by others, but now I have to be ordered around. Beiji Yu wasn't very happy doing these things, but she didn't complain. It is inevitable for people to have bad emotions. The key is whether you can control them. 3 years in college, she has learned a lot of experience in dealing with people. So, she did a perfect job in dealing with others. Some colleagues even praised me, saying, as expected of a student from China and the United States, he is thorough in everything he does, unlike some people who cannot even teach. What they were sarcastic about was another intern, a boy, who had excellent professional abilities but was a bit unsociable. Beiji didn't respond when he heard these words. Instead, it was the teacher who led her internship who initiated the topic. I remember Jiyu was the student union president of your school at school, right? Yes, teacher. It's really good. It seems that you are also a top-notch person in school. Being the president of the student union in college also proves that you are a capable person. Otherwise, how can you stand out in front of thousands of people? Thank you, teacher. Hearing these words, an old man sitting in the corner smiled and shook his head. He is an old man here. He met Beiji a few years ago. At that time, this girl was still with the big boss. He knows some secrets, but he won't tell them stupidly. The rich lady is willing to come out and experience life, so he can only treat it as if he doesn't know, and help at the critical moment. Maybe he can be promoted in the future. Beiji and Yeching Feng, these two names sound nothing on their own, but if they are put together, they will cause a lot of topics. The design director walked over in high heels, attracting everyone's attention. Everyone from the design department, please go to the conference room for a small meeting. The company gave them a task, requiring them to submit a new product design within a week. Remember, everyone can participate this time. You can choose to create independently or work as a team, but you must complete it within a week. The other company will arrange for someone to meet with us next week. The words of the design director were undoubtedly a bomb dropped in the water, and everyone was in a state of shock. Everyone can participate. This is a unique opportunity. I heard that the other party is a large company that I have never cooperated with before. If any of their manuscripts can be selected, it will definitely have a bright future. The only ones who are sad are Beiji and another intern Fang Hansheng. Because the old people in the design department began to fight for this opportunity and left all other trivial matters to the interns. Anyway, they believed that the interns would definitely not be selected. During the lunch break, Fang Hansheng did not fall asleep. He saw Beiji drawing something seriously at his desk alone. He took a closer look and found Beiji drawing a design. Are you designing? Yes, Beiji admitted generously. On the contrary, Fang Hansheng looked at her with a questioning look on his face. Although director, everyone can participate, but it is an opportunity for the elderly, so there is no need for us to waste time. It is impossible for us to be elected anyway, superior. Beiji smiled nonchalantly. How will you know if you don't try it? Oh, they all praise you for being smart, but they didn't expect you to be so naive. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 1644. Chapter 1644. See you again. You will suffer a loss. Fang Hansheng seemed to look down on her. If you don't have confidence in yourself, how can you succeed? Beiji rolled her eyes at him and was no longer willing to talk to him. Beiji devoted herself wholeheartedly to this design. Even when Yeching Feng asked her to have dinner, she reluctantly refused. Brother Qing Feng, I've been very busy recently. What are you busy with? It's just a design draft. You still won't tell me where to intern, huh? I won't tell you, you can't check it out. Good. Hearing the girl's cute voice on the phone, the smile on Yeching Feng's face never dimmed. Beiji made an agreement with him when she was an intern, asking him to promise not to investigate the place where she interned. If he agreed, he would not investigate. He was willing to wait until the little girl told him herself. What the two of them didn't expect was that the little girl's design draft had already been delivered to his desk without him checking it. Because the company was particularly interested in this cooperation, even the design draft was submitted for Ye Qingfeng to personally review. He flipped through the pages briefly, and at a glance identified Bai Jiyu's picture from dozens of design drafts. Everyone has a unique painting style, and he is extremely familiar with Bai Jiyu's style. Although the selection mode was anonymous this time, Ye Qingfeng accurately extracted Bai Jiyu's drawings. Bai Jiyu was naturally selected. Of course, this was not a random choice by Ye Qingfeng. After he saw it, the director of the design department was personally responsible. After all, he was a professional. The result is still the same. Bai Jiyu was selected, along with seniors from 2 other companies. When the short list was announced, everyone looked at Bai Jiyu in surprise. It is not unusual for an old person from the company to be selected. What is worth mentioning is this in turn. You are really excellent. The director of the design department at Lila Na gave Bai Jiyu such high praise. Fang Hansheng regretted extremely. If I had known I should have tried it, then I would have been the one selected. Hearing Fang Hanzhen's conceited words, Bai Jiyu was really speechless. I don't know where he got such confidence to stand out. Even she did it with the mentality of trying hard. Of course she is happy if she is chosen, but if not, she will not regret it. Yes Group has never cooperated with Cocoa Company, which is about to negotiate a contract, and they are temporarily unclear about the other party's ideal style, so they made 3 plans based on the 3-point design drawing. On the day of meeting with Cocoa Company, Ye Qingfeng offered to take 3 design draft candidates with him. This was the first time Bai Jiyu stood in front of Ye Qingfeng as an intern, and Ye Qingfeng's eyes naturally stayed on her for a few seconds longer. You are all the best designers in the company. Whether you can be selected by Cocoa Company depends entirely on your internship. I wish you success. Thank you nightclub. Bai Jiyu echoed her thanks. She stood behind, looking at Ye Qingfeng's back and snickering in her heart. She thought, this man is so charming. In the past, she could hold Ye Qingfeng's hand and walk beside him or in front of him. But this time, when she walked behind Ye Qingfeng, the distance was 1 meter away, but she felt that she was just side by side with Ye Qingfeng. Bai Jiyu is looking forward to meeting Coco's collaborators with enthusiasm and hopes that her work will be selected. She never expected that she would see the person who pierced a thorn in her young memory today. Hello everyone, I am the person in charge of this project of Cocoa Company Zuyu. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 1645. Chapter 1645. Zuyu and Ye Qingfeng are together. Zuyu's eyes stayed on Ye Qingfeng many times. Over the years, both of them have changed a lot. The once sunny and handsome boy has become mature and restrained, and the once lively and youthful girl has become a charming woman. Ye Qingfeng and Zuyu shook hands. Bai Jiyu's eyes stared unblinking at the movement of the 2 hands coming together, and her heart suddenly hurt as if hundreds of needles were pricking her. Happy month. Why did it appear at this time? It can be said that she will not look down on anyone of the opposite who tries to get close to Ye Qingfeng now, because she is younger and more beautiful than those people, and she is closer to Ye Qingfeng than those people. It's just that I miss the wish for the moon. After all, he is the person Ye Qingfeng once liked. How could she forget that Zuyu Ezai was the unexpected and special treatment in Ye Qingfeng's life? Jiyu. Bai Jiyu. The teacher next to her saw that she was distracted and gave her a gentle tug. Bai Jiyu finally came back to her senses and nodded to the teacher to apologize. She was still in a daze for the next time. When Cocoa Company wants to select design drafts, it naturally needs to listen to the designer's design inspiration. The other 2 designers had already memorized their written inspirations. Bai Jiyu walked in front of the projector, pretending to be calm and talking about his design inspirations. There is nothing wrong with the content, it's just that she is a little out of shape. Ye Qingfeng was aware of it, but because the occasion did not allow it, he could only restrain himself. The people from Coco Company discussed it and did not immediately select the design draft. They only said that they would report it to the headquarters for further discussion. This is nothing. The group of them returned to the company, but they did not expect that Zuyu would also accompany them, so as to deepen their understanding of Yes Group. Talking about work matters, everyone welcomes the arrival of Zuyu. After all, the cooperation with Coco is a big profit. Zuyu and Ye Qingfeng walked side by side, chatting a few words from time to time. The two stepped into the special staircase together, and Beijiu almost followed. The teacher grabbed her and kept her outside. Beijiu could only watch the man he liked leave with the ex-girlfriend he once liked. Beijiu was extremely sad, as if there was a bitter sugar fermenting in her heart. Her instructor was very worried. "Jiu, what's wrong with you? You haven't been in good spirits since you met the person in charge of Coco this afternoon." "I'm fine, I'm just a little uncomfortable. I can only find an excuse casually." "If you don't feel well, go back and rest first. You did a good job in getting the design draft selected, so I'll give you half a day off." "No, I'm not going to rest, I want to stay." Beijiu shook her head and walked firmly to the design department office. She won't leave. She wanted to stay and watch Zuyu and Ye Qingfeng. The bad news still came. She heard that Ye Qingfeng and the person in charge of Coco would have dinner together tonight. Beijiu sat absent-mindedly in front of the computer, feeling almost sour in her heart. Zuyu's appearance broke all her plans and made her feel uneasy like never before. That woman has been gone for so many years, why does she appear again? She is so annoying. Beijiu couldn't reconcile herself to anything, so she rushed out to the lobby to guard her as soon as she got off work. Seeing Ye Qingfeng and Zuyu appear together, she squeezed her hands tightly. I don't know why, but I couldn't control myself and rushed out. She did not call out Brother Qingfeng because all her attention fell on Zuyu. May the moon become more beautiful than before. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Ixie. Chapter 1646. Chapter 1646. She feels inferior. All the things Zuyu has experienced over the years have made her what she is today. The charm accumulated over these years is not comparable to that of Beijiu. Beijiu is confident that she is younger and more beautiful than Zuyu, but she is also jealous that Zuyu is Ye Qingfeng's only exception. She seems to be asking Zuyu in front of her, "Why do you want to come back?" But she didn't dare. If Zuyu told her it was for Ye Qingfeng, what could she do? In this secret love, she has always been the cautious one. Ye Qingfeng did not make any unnecessary moves. Zuyu stood up generously, extended her hand to her, and greeted her calmly, "Miss Bei, long time no see." Beijiu couldn't even fake a smile. Look, the winner is always so calm and composed. "Jiu, I was looking for you, so you are here." The teacher who took her to practice suddenly came out to help her out. The teacher said hello to Ye Qingfeng and Zuyu respectively, and then took her away. Avoiding the eyes of others, the teacher asked worriedly, "Jiu, what's going on? Did the person in charge of Coco select your design draft? Or are they causing trouble for you?" Beijiu shook her head, "Teacher, thank you just now, but I'm fine." "Well, it's time to get off work now. Let's go home and rest early." "Okay. It's time to get off work now." Brother Qingfeng and Zuyu must have gone to have dinner together. She is really timid, because what she once had was so beautiful that she may not be able to bear any loss. Beijiu was in a terrible mood. But she dare not go home now for fear of facing her parents. Her father will definitely use this to make her give up, and her mother will also be unhappy if she sees that she is unhappy. After thinking about it, Beiji Yu asked Nangang Yu out. Nangang Yu, who is soft on the outside but strong on the inside, is now a legend in the business world. Although she is a woman, she supports half of the Nangang family. Plus, with the Gong family backing her up, almost no one dares to look down on her. Now I see her, wearing a pink slim cutsuit. Different from the strong feeling given by ordinary strong women, she is mature, intellectual, gentle and pretty. Nangang Yu went to the address Beiji Yu gave her. In the past, if I accepted Beiji Yu's appointment, I would definitely see Beiji Yu standing guard at the door. When they came, I would happily wave hello. But today, the most energetic girl among them was lying on the table in frustration, looking very unhappy. Who made our most beautiful and lovely little Yu angry? Sister Yu, you are here. All my time from now until the next 2 hours is yours. Woo, Sister Yu, you are the best to me. Beiji Yu hugged Nangang Yu, and Nangang Yu patted her back as if to comfort her. Perhaps when she knew someone was pampering her, all her little emotions came out and she burst into tears. Don't cry, the little fairy won't look good if she cries. That's what he said, but Nangang Yu still let her cry in his arms for a while. About 10 minutes later, Beiji Yu pulled away and wiped her tears. The eyes are red and the nose is red. Are you okay? Can you tell me what happened now? Zhu Yu is back. In one sentence, both people's mentality has changed. Nangang Yu understands. Beiji Yu's thoughts are understood by many people, but no one has ever dared to reveal them. Because they couldn't understand Ye Qingfeng. After so many years, no one knows what Ye Qingfeng is thinking. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 1647. Chapter 1647. Don't deny our past. Zhu Yu only represents the past, but now it's you who is by Brother Qingfeng's side. Beiji Yu shook his head. Even in the past, that was his preference, and when I was around him, I could only use my sister's identity as a cover-up. You have to have confidence in yourself. I, Beiji Yu, am born with pride, but this is the only thing I can't control, as you know, Sister Yu. Well, she knows. Everyone understands this tacitly, but how can Beiji Yu hide his thoughts? They always felt that Ye Qingfeng could see it, but Ye Qingfeng didn't take the initiative to expose anything, and they didn't dare to speak casually. After waiting for so many years, there is still no result. Then do you dare to confess your feelings? Beiji Yu lowered her head and pointed her fingers. I don't dare. She is cowardly. It's really cowardly. After saying this, all good things may be subverted. Sister Yu, I really worked hard to get closer to him. The remaining year is my best chance, but why does that person show up? Originally, she had already thought about it. This year, her age, knowledge, and independence are all good enough. But Zhu Yu appeared. Is all this destined by God? Don't think wildly. Nothing in this world is destined. As long as you work hard, the outcome of many things will change. Nangang Yu took her hand and turned her face to face him. Nangang Yu asked her, why do you think you can't compare to Zhu Yu? If Zhu Yu was good enough, Brother Qingfeng wouldn't be separated from her, right? Since they separated in the first place, it means they are not suitable. For so many years, there has been no one else around Brother Qingfeng. You are his exception. Nangang Yu's 3 words fell into her ears, making her feel much better. On the other side, Ye Qingfeng was indeed having dinner with Zhu Yu, but she was not the only one. Ye Qingfeng brought his assistant, and Zhu Yu also had other cocoa managers. Their meal was to discuss business matters and not to involve any personal issues. After dinner, they came out of the hotel and found that it had started raining outside. Ye Qingfeng's assistant sent away another cocoa manager who had drunk alcohol. Ye Qingfeng and Zhu Yu are left. Goodbye. Qingfeng, we haven't seen each other for so many years, why don't we find a place to sit down and chat? Zuyu's invitation was generous and her smile was decent. Yet Xingfeng said seriously, about the cooperation, I have just made it clear to Miss Zhu and other people in charge of Coco. It seems that there is nothing else to talk about. Zuyu smiled and said, no, after all, we were once boyfriend and girlfriend. Do you want to deny our past like this? Yet Xingfeng did not answer. Zuyu asked again, are you afraid of being alone with me? Yet Xingfeng had a faint smile on his lips. Feng Qingyun shook his head calmly, the method of stimulating generals is useless to me. What a coincidence, this scene fell into the eyes of a caring person. Beijiyu never expected that she was so good in luck. Nangongyu stayed with her for 2 hours. He had to leave due to work reasons. She had no interest in staying, so she sent Nangongyu out for a ride. I really didn't expect to see Xingfeng and Zuyu standing together in the restaurant opposite. The two were talking and laughing, and seemed to be having a good time. Beijiyu felt as if a ladle of cold water had been poured on her heart. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 1648. Chapter 1648. Xiao Yu has a cold and fever. Zuyu moved her position and happened to see the little girl standing in the rain. Zuyu blocked Ye Qingfeng's sight without leaving a trace. It's not a good idea for us to stand at the door like this, right? Just say a few words and give face to us for the sake of our upcoming cooperation. Cooperation is inevitable, and it doesn't seem like I'm wasting my time. Don't be so heartless, why don't we talk about Beijiyu? The night breeze is silent. Zuyu knew that she succeeded. Ye Qingfeng's weakness is so obvious, she discovered it a long time ago. Beijiyu, on the other hand, stood far away in the rain, watching the two of them leave side by side. Beijiyu called Nangongyu again. Sister Yu, can you take me in for one night? Nangongyu moved out to her own independent residence a long time ago. Beijiyu knew the password to her apartment. The reason why she asked Nangongyu to take her in was to have an excuse so that her parents would not suspect anything. Nangongyu didn't return to the apartment until early in the morning after finishing his work matters. Originally, I thought Beijiyu had rested, but when I saw that the lights in the hall were on, Beijiyu turned off the lights and sat on the sofa watching a love drama on TV. Woo woo woo. I don't know if I'm crying for myself or the TV series, my eyes are swollen. At this time, Beijiyu still looks like a goddess who is so bright and beautiful during the day. Looking at her like this, I felt so wronged. Nangongyu really felt sorry for this little girl. Go wash up and rest. Well. Beijiyu shook his head. Nangongyu tried to persuade her a few words, but he didn't seem to listen. You have to go to work tomorrow, and you should face it in the best possible condition. Sister Yu, it's useless. What happened? As long as that woman appears, everything will go back to the beginning. I saw Brother Qingfeng on a date with her today. The two of them were standing together talking and laughing. It's really. She couldn't say these 3 words so well. Just thinking about these, I feel very sad. Nangongyu suddenly didn't know how to persuade him. Emotional matters cannot be solved by an outsider's casual remarks. Xiao Yu, you have to know that if you don't cherish yourself enough, others will not love you. Beijiyu was almost driven by Nangongyu to take a shower, then lay on the bed and turn off the lights to sleep. But she was upset and couldn't sleep. Unfortunately, I caught a cold the next day. Beijiyu was relatively weak when she came out of her mother's womb, and she was usually fine. However, she could easily get sick if she was exposed to wind or rain. So, she was unlucky enough to catch a cold and a fever. She was so dizzy from the fever that she didn't even remember to ask for leave. Nangongyu rushed her to the hospital when he found her. Afraid that Yuan Ran would be overly worried after hearing the news, Nangongyu did not tell his parents for the time being and just called Ye Qingfeng. Brother Qingfeng, Xiao Yuer is hospitalized with a high fever if you are free. Where? Ye Qingfeng interrupted her and asked directly about the location. Nangongyu reported the hospital address. Ye Qingfeng's assistant had just arrived with the person in charge of Coco when he saw his boss rushing out like a gust of wind. Before the assistant could react, the boss was gone. What happened? The boss has always been an elegant and calm image in their impression. What happened just now? Sorry, Miss Zhu, I may have to ask you to wait for a while. It's okay, but what happened to your boss? Wait a moment, I'll contact you. Someone is feeling distressed. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Ixie. Chapter 1649. Chapter 1649, Take her to your home. I'm in the hospital. The assistant only got 4 words from Ye Qingfeng and hung up the phone. The assistant explained to Zuyu helplessly, our boss is in the hospital now. Zuyu immediately stood up excitedly upon hearing this. Why is he in the hospital? Did something happen? The assistant shook his head helplessly. The boss didn't say anything, he hung up on me. As a little assistant, sometimes I am quite pitiful. No one knows where Ye Qingfeng went, but Zuyu accidentally heard the news that Beijiu asked for sick leave when she left. Zuyu suddenly realized that something had happened to Beijiu. She even guessed that Beijiu was sick because of yesterday's rain and excessive sadness, right? What a pitiful person. After so long, Beijiu is still the treasure in that person's palm. After Ye Qingfeng arrived at the hospital, Nangongyu took the initiative to make room for the two of them. He patiently waited by the bedside and carefully completed the doctor's instructions without daring to neglect anything. Such meticulous care is something that not everyone can do. Many times, Nangongyu almost couldn't help but ask him, what kind of love do you take care of Beijiu? But every time the words came to my lips, I couldn't say them out. If she messes up, she will become a sinner. Brother Qingfeng, will you stay here forever? Then I'll go back to the company to deal with some things first. I'll finish it as soon as possible. Then I'll come over and change with you. Need not. Hold head high. I will wait until the moon recovers before leaving. Oh, okay. With Ye Qingfeng's guarantee, Nangongyu is naturally relieved. If Beijiu is sick, wouldn't there be a chance? Nangongyu suddenly had a plan in mind. By the way, Brother Qingfeng, Yuer said she didn't want her family to worry, so she stayed at my house yesterday, but I'm busy these 2 days and may not be able to take care of her. Otherwise, you take her to your house first. She made a tentative suggestion. I thought Ye Qingfeng would hesitate or propose again, but I didn't expect him to respond without hesitation, okay. Nangongyu couldn't hold back his laughter. In that case, I'm relieved. See you later. Ye Qingfeng had no intention of replying to her. At this moment, my whole heart is focused on Beijiu. Perhaps due to a cold and fever, Beijiu's face has always had a redness that has not gone away. Ye Qingfeng would wipe the sweat from her forehead with a towel from time to time. The nurses in the VIP ward were particularly touched because Ye Qingfeng took over a lot of the work they had to do. Fortunately, Beijiu slept not long ago and gradually woke up around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. When she saw the person watching next to her, she thought she was dreaming. How come it's you in the dream too? She muttered in a low voice, seeming a little dissatisfied. Dissatisfied? Ye Qingfeng stretched out his hand and pinched her nose. Xiao Yuer, you seem to be unhappy to see me. With this pull, Beijiu can be considered sober. Ah, you are real. Did you dream about me? Well, she said embarrassedly. Ye Qingfeng couldn't help but guess, did I hurt you in the dream? Did I treat you badly? Beiji Yu still refused to say. But my stomach growled. Brother Qingfeng, I'm hungry. Okay, I'll have someone send it over. When the assistant received the new task, Zuyu was beside him. Zuyu smiled softly, is the designer named Beiji Yu sick? I quite like her works. Why don't I go visit her with you? The author has something to say. Let's fight. Remember to check in for the new book Little Cutie You Are Arrested. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Ixie. Chapter 1650. Chapter 1650 Publicly Admit Love Affair. The assistant had no idea about the grudges a few years ago, and thought that only by pleasing the person in charge of Coco could the company's cooperation be consolidated, so he took Zuyu with him to the hospital to visit Beiji Yu. The assistant rushed over as quickly as possible to deliver the meal, and saw his boss sitting beside the hospital bed feeding apples to people. He knew Beiji Yu, and he was not surprised to see the two of them interacting closely. Boss, the nutritious porridge you want. Ye Qingfeng had just accepted it when he heard the assistant say, Boss, Miss Zuyu, the person in charge of Coco, is also coming and said she wants to visit Miss Jiyu. Mentioning the name Zuyu, the atmosphere in the room solidified. Beiji Yu, who had been smiling just now, lost all color on her face. That person is really everywhere and can slip in through any crack he finds. Ye Qingfeng, on the other hand, was calm and decent, since it's a visit, thank you Miss Zhu. Why are you being polite to me? We are old acquaintances. Zuyu handed the flowers to Beiji Yu and verbally wished her a speedy recovery. I don't like this flower. Beiji Yu put her head aside and refused to take it. The assistant is extremely anxious. I knew that this little ancestor was arrogant, but I didn't expect that he would not be taken seriously by the company's partners. His assistant looked worried. Fortunately, Ye Qingfeng was there to control her and teach her not to be rude. Ms. Zhu is visiting me with good intentions, you can't do this. Huh, you know I don't like her. Beiji Yu is usually coquettish, but when she is sick, she can be very aggressive. She turns her back to everyone, as if she doesn't want to see Zuyu. Ye Qingfeng put his hand on her shoulder and called softly, You are. With this shout, both people in the room had the urge to respond. Zuyu closed her eyes and restrained herself. Beiji Yu's body was like thorns, and every sentence was piercing, You are, I don't know who you are calling. When you see her like this, you know that she really doesn't want to see Zuyu. Ye Qingfeng first apologized to Zuyu, Miss Zhu, I'm sorry. My little girl is the most delicate when she is sick. I hope Miss Zhu can forgive me and don't take it to heart. After apologizing, Ye Qingfeng politely asked her to leave. With a professional fake smile on her face, Zuyu put the flowers down and waved to leave. Beiji Yu finally turned her head back. I'm hungry and want to eat. Good. Ye Qingfeng waved his assistant to leave first, and then served the little ancestor in front of him without complaint. Beiji Yu felt a little better. I heard what Ye Qingfeng called Zuyu just now, and I thought that the two of them have not gotten back together. Does that mean she still has a chance? Thinking about it like this, Beiji Yu feels energetic and is in good health. She saw the message Nangang Yu sent her in advance and took advantage of it to move into Ye Qingfeng's apartment. Ye Qingfeng gave her 2 days off to recuperate, so she studied food in the apartment. As the saying goes, to capture a man's heart, you must first capture his stomach, the ancients must be right. Beiji Yu happily cooked at home and studied it for 3 days. I heard that today is the press conference for Yes Group to announce its cooperation with Coco Company. She plans to cook a sumptuous dinner for Ye Qingfeng to celebrate. After buying the ingredients, she held her mobile phone and started waiting for the live broadcast. But in the audience, Ye Qingfeng almost stood with Zuyu. Although they did not communicate in private, she still hated it. Brother Ching Fen, don't say I don't support you, I still express my feelings through actions. So I clicked exit. After the press conference, she went to search for news, only to find that the hot topic was the prince of the Ye group publicly admitted his relationship. End of this chapter.